Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. My name is Joseph James. Welcome to our live trade room recap, October 21st, 2010. Happy Thursday to you guys. We had a pretty good day in the room today. Before I talk about the trades we took today, I want to remind you guys about our blog. If you're on our blog right now, don't forget, follow the blog. Join our newsletter that we get all the new updates whenever they come out. Got YouTube on there, live support. Don't forget, guys, you can also search the blog. Maybe you want to know more about range charts or tape reading or market profile or momentum divergence, right? Those are all great things you can easily type in there in that search box. So use the search box, and then don't forget there are two important sections up top, guys. Right above, right at the top of this webinar, top of this this blog page, you'll see webinars and trade room resources. Now, we did a good job. We recorded all the webinars and we posted them up there under live webinars. And then we've also taken all of your questions and we put them into topics on the Trade Room Resources page. So guys, if you want to know pretty much anything about how we trade in our live trade room, you can find it there on webinars and Trade Room Resources. It's right above me here, guys, right on top of the blog page. All right, guys, so get on the blog. Blog has a lot of free resources on it, guys. Of course, the advanced course, intermediate course, beginner's course, right? Those are all lifetime memberships with our website, schooltrade.com. All right, let's keep moving here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 total trades. Took a first trade loss. Well, not a first trade loss, but pretty much. And had to dig out from underneath that 24 tick loss, right? 6 tick stop, 4 contracts in the trade. It cost me 24 ticks or 240 USD. So took a first trade loss there on Crude. We spent the first couple minutes, pretty much the first hour and a half, just chopping around sideways range on Crude. But then all of a sudden, about 10:30, we had nat gas inventories. 10:30 caused everything to tumble, and that's where you can see here we made the most of our money. You can see the dark green at the end here, pretty much from 9:30 to 11:30. That was 2 hours, and we earned about 250 ticks there, guys, in that short amount of time. So a very good day in the room. What was really exciting about it was that we had traders trading the Russell, trading the Euro, trading the Crude, trading the gold, fast track, scalpers, swing traders, day traders. It seemed like everybody in the room today was making money no matter what direction they were trading in. But, right, there was a big but. We had to wait until the market started moving for us. Now, it all started off pretty slow this morning. We'll talk about that in a second. But as you can see here, 236 ticks, $82.50 for the week. All right, $8,200 for the week, guys. We have yet to have a day this week less than 130 ticks. All right, and all 4 days this week, so 27,000 for the month. I'm shooting for that 33,000 from July, right? We had the record-breaking month, 33,500 for July. I'm shooting for that record right now, guys. We got 27,000 right now. I think we can do it. We've also got, I think, about another 45,000 bucks here left this year to make. Remember, guys, we've got the rest of the month of October, the full month of November, and the first 3 weeks of December. Right, we got plenty of time, guys, and this is the best time to be trading right now, October, November, and December. Right, 177,000 for the year. Now, what's the most important thing that happened today? Well, of course, real slow start. This was nothing new to us, right? We saw slow starts all week this week. This is one of those weeks where we had OPEX last week. We got the end of the month next week. So it's one of those weeks where it kind of falls in between. It's almost like the second week of the month, right? The second week of the month, the third week of the month, right? That little kind of medium area there. Not the end of the month, not the beginning of the month. And so things have been a little bit slow at the beginning. Now, the big sign this morning, though, was the ATR, right? We saw a very low average true range ATR on the dollar. Okay, so the DX, low ATR, that means very narrow price moves. Now, guys, whenever you see the dollar going sideways, slow and sluggish, ATR is dropping, remember, guys, I don't pay attention to the actual ATR reading. I pay more attention to the ATR. Is it rising or is it falling? And we saw ATR falling this morning, right? So that told us right away, right? Red flag, right? We got to be patient. Okay, now, if this sounds familiar, again, we've seen this happen every day this week. We haven't just woke up, we don't just wake up, close our eyes, hit the buy button to make money. We actually have to work a little bit in the morning, waiting to see when this market's going to grow some legs and start moving for us. Not to mention, it made it even worse for me this morning. I took my first trade was a loss. So I've dug myself into a hole this morning. Now, the loss wasn't a bad trade. It just simply didn't have any movement to it. And we'll show you guys that in a second. But took a first trade loss. It was the right trade to take. It just simply didn't work out my way. So digging out of that hole now, we had to be really patient. Okay, obviously, one more full stop, and I've got to throw in the towel for the day. So with a first trade loss, guys, I had to now really buckle down, be patient, and wait for the best trades in the morning. And that patience paid off. After about 11 o'clock, once we saw that 10:30 natural gas number come out, all of a sudden, dollar spiked. Right? Nat gas tumbled over 3.5% today. That's a pretty big drop in that illiquid market they call nat gas. So inventories come out at 10:30. We see the nat gas tumble. More importantly, though, we see the dollar start to jump. And of course, when the dollar broke new highs at 11 o'clock, guys, you know how this story ends, right? Dollar banks new highs. I'm shorting everything else. All right, guys, let's start out with the dollar first. Now, here's what we saw on the dollar. Now, I almost didn't see this morning, but thanks to some of our guests this morning, they pointed this out for me. What do you see in the dollar? Well, tough to see here, but this was a head and shoulders pattern. This was a head and shoulders pattern. How we trade a head and shoulders pattern is we're going to look to break below the neckline, right? The neckline is right there. And we always know head and shoulders patterns always get very, very sloppy in and around the bottom, right? Or where it should be triggering for that reversal, right? Head and shoulders, it's a reversal pattern. We take the break of the neckline, right? Take the break of the neckline. So of course, again, if you're looking at the dollar here, you've got this head and shoulders pattern. Looks like that, right? Well, when we break this neckline here, that's where I want to be looking for, right? The break. Okay. Well, of course, we didn't get that, did we? Right? We didn't get that. What we got was we got price chopping around here, right? Left and right, up and down, right? We got price chopping around there. All right, guys? So price chopping around, again, dollar going sideways at the lows, right? That was a concern for us. Okay, so right off the bat, we noticed we had a head and shoulders pattern there on the dollar. So with the head and shoulders pattern, that told us probably should be careful. We also noticed, too, we have this somewhat strong downward trend here, right? Get a downward trend there. That downward trend, we should keep going to the downside. Okay, so we originally thought the dollar would end up breaking the lows, therefore we'd be buying everything. But of course, we didn't really know where that was going to end up. All we knew at that point is we're sitting here going sideways, right, at these lows. Okay, so trading sideways at these lows, we had to wait and see what's going to happen next. Now, of course, what ended up happening was the dollar ended up spiking and going up, right? Testing this 295 low top here, guys. Obviously, that's the final target here of the dollar. With the dollar moving up, everything else is expected to drop. All right, so that's what happened late in the morning, about half of the morning, 10:30, dollar breaks highs. We're now looking for the shorts. But you can see here, though, we really could have gone either direction. Most important thing was, right at the beginning, though, we saw low ATR, very slow speed of the tape, right? The pace of tape indicated the dollar very slow, and we saw we were trading sideways just below that low of day from yesterday and just above the low of day from the previous day. Okay, so that told us, be careful out there. Wait for a little bit more feedback from the market. Now, we took our first couple trades on crude. Got myself into a little bit of trouble with crude this morning, and it really wasn't a bad trade that did it. It was just the market wasn't moving fast enough. Now, what happened was we spent most of the time here. You can see we got a wedge pattern high, right? There's your wedge high. There's your wedge low. All right, guys? Now, of course, as you know, we sell the highs of the wedge, right? So I want to be a seller here at the highs of the wedge. I want to be a buyer here at the lows. Okay, right? Pretty simple stuff, right? So I'm looking to be a seller here. And I want to sell short here below 85s, right? That was the goal, right?